Artificial intelligence, or AI, is a is a branch of computer science founded on machine learning. Basically, what it'll do is it self learns and will adapt to situations. It's mainly done with algorithms and patterns. And the main goal of AI is to essentially replicate human speech patterns and to get the AI as close to acting like a human as possible for most circumstances.
AI technology is already in a lot of places, from the average phone to a complicated robotics lab. In the not so distant future, AI will be integrated into almost everything we use in daily life because of how powerful of a tool it can be.
The pros that it the pros are that it can do monotonous tasks for us, it can be precise, it does lack emotions, but it's better at understanding and being effective. The cons are it lacks creativity, can only act as it's been told to do. Again, lacking emotions can be both pros and cons. It can't self-repair, and it's causing unemployment and reliance on the AI.
There are some ethical guidelines to consider when using AI. You should not use AI to manipulate people, whether that's scam emails, scam texts, or viruses. You should not use AI to imitate a person and their overall likeness. You should not claim an AI's work as your own, because not only are you plagiarizing off the AI, that AI might be plagiarizing off of other public work. And on that topic, you should consider ethical sourcing for the training data, because if it's being trained off of people who do not consent to the AI using their work, there's a lot of ethical issues that come with that.
Very similarly to what you said, there are a lot of things that you should not share with AI. One of the biggest ones is personal information, such as emails, passwords, home address, cell phone numbers, etc. Basically anything you wouldn't want the public internet to know, you probably should not tell an AI, because AI will be able to use that information and may train itself on it, and could accidentally give someone your address. So general rule of thumb is just don't give AI things you wouldn't want the public internet to know. You should also be careful on the privacy policy for artificial intelligence. For example, ChatGPT will have a privacy policy that you will have to hit accept to, and you should be very careful when hitting accept, because they may end up harvesting other data outside of the AI that you should be careful about.
AI voice recognition, myself and
Jane.
So voice AI is basically a computer's ability to perceive and understand human speech. Recently, it's in like a ton of things, so like Siri, Alexa, all that, and it allows for people to interact with the world without touching anything. So it's like you can tell Alexa to turn on a light or open a garage. But how does it really work? AI will use what's called a spectrogram, which is basically turning sounds into this kind of graph here. And it will then take piece by piece and decipher what each kind of sound wave would sound like as a letter, and then turn that into a word using a database.
In this video, I'll be showing she could give you information based on that, and I could ask her to play my like songs on Spotify as long as she sets up to my account. She's able to do so all within voice recognition. But she can basically do any command, well, not any command, but a lot of commands based on the things you ask her to do, and if you say Alexa, then she'll be able to do them. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.
The daily uses of voice recognition in AI. AI voice recognition is used within a lot of technology nowadays. It could be used a lot in the workplace and in professional fields. In healthcare, AI is used to better communicate between patients and the doctors, so there's faster communication when something is needed. It helps with instead of patients having to read through pamphlets, they could easily communicate with their doctors when they need assistance. Call centers, AI is used in order to get authorization from customers. So it could prove identity by using voice audios. Instead of using passwords or fingerprints, when you use your voice to talk to the AI, it is able to see who you are and prove that you are who you're saying you are. And for normal daily use, voice recognition can be used within Alexa and Siri to answer questions or ask commands to help. The impact of voice recognition. Some impacts of voice recognition is faster communication, language translation, quick accessibility, faster talking than typing, new word exposure, and it expands your vocabulary. You can give commands within using your voice just like the Alexa, and it helps students with poor reading skills as well, and overall it's very convenient. Thank you.
Next up, we have a segment about AI in research and news by myself, Braden Thompson.
I'm Carrie.
And Angel Rodriguez.
So, we've all heard the stories of students cheating with generative artificial intelligence, and even professionals in research fields have been caught maliciously using AI, which gives many people reason to believe that AI has no place in academia. However, AI has proven it can be a very helpful tool for research, studying, writing flow, and improving someone's academic ability rather than hurting it.
AI can search the internet for relevant information that suits your topic as fast as you can blink. AI has the ability to be used as a better grammar checker than traditional means. Another thing, AI can be used to find issues and give suggestions on how to improve your writing. Lastly, AI can offer plausible topics or can be used to narrow down a topic that's too broad. It can also tell you where to start when writing a certain topic.
So, you can use AI to improve research by having it generate your research topics or narrow down a focus from a list of topics or to a very broad topic. You can use it to organize papers, to find relevant sources for your topic, but it's always important to keep in mind that it doesn't always give accurate information and that it is never the source. It's just an advanced search engine for finding your sources. AI can also be used to find required information from a vast data set or just very long writing pieces, which prevents you from having to sift through long writing for a very specific part of it for your work. Some examples of AI search engines are Perplexity AI and Google's AI Overview. Perplexity is able to summarize several data sets. It quickly finds the best sources for your thesis or question. It can even scan a specific document or YouTube video for its relevant information. It will ask for clarification on complex questions. You can ask it follow-up questions, and it will pull from the data it's already used. It always admits when it can't accurately answer a question, and if it gets confused, it encourages you as the user to check all of the work it's cited. It's important to remember it cannot replace standard website finding. It's just a way to find essays or articles to cite in your work. There's also Google's AI Overview, which summarizes the top Google results into an easy to read box. It's a very simple time saver because it is already integrated into the Google search, so it appears right at the top before the top search results. But unfortunately, it's been seen to trigger even if a user has it disabled, despite it being experimental, and it lacks as many sources, details, or follow-up questions that make Perplexity so great. Now, to test the power of AI search engines, I decided to do an experiment where I took the same question, how technology has improved education, and saw which could help me write an essay faster, using a normal Google search for research or using Perplexity for research. And here's that experiment.
All right, so let's see. Working on this essay,
How
we need 5 sources.
technology
How has technology changed education? Look, it's right there.
for the better?
All right, top link. This is not as big of an article as I'd like. Let's see if there's anything I can use here. That's not great. None of this is super related to what I'm looking for. Okay, alright, enjoyable for students. Okay. Captures their attention. Alright, that seems like a good source. Okay. Alright, so this is a lot of the COVID stuff, but okay. Sharpens critical thinking, increased collaboration. Okay. These are good quotes. I can pull from that. So let's do that. Alright, what's next? Access to information and resources. Alright, who's saying that? Alright. Positive. So this is talking about like flexibility and stuff. Online education. That's a quote I could use. Interactive whiteboards. All right, this is great. We'll take that too. I'm gonna look for something different. Let's see. What's a blog? University of Kansas. Okay. This has statistics, so it's probably good. We'll take this. Mayville University, Yale. Let's look at what Yale has to say. Increasing use of technology in education. Alright, I do want something more exact. This is kind of against it. Nothing really coming from here. E-school news. Let's try it. Let's actually, or no, let's get more specific. What about for children with disabilities? Alright. Communicate effectively and participate in classroom discussions. Okay. Let's see. Mobility, hear better, participate effectively. Yeah, that's a great source. All right, one more for disability should be good. Transformative, ushering a new era. This is the kind of things I want. Okay. No. Empower students ownership of their learning, expanding opportunities, self-directed. That's yeah. Interactive, digitalization. Okay, this is usable. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, all of this stuff. I like that. Okay, I can definitely use most of this. It's their self-esteem, autonomy, and overall confidence. Okay. Yes. Wow. All right. These are I didn't even think about things like that. Interesting. All right. Speech to text offer. Yeah. All right. This is great. Okay. Now, we're looking at a counterclaim. I'll start a new thread as our second source. Um, hmm. Purdue University Online. I think these are the ones who made that first article, but this looks longer, so hopefully we got sure. Take my personal information. Yeah. All right. Um, attention issues. That does make sense. Negative Lore of social media, gaming, online activity. Yeah, over-reliance on screens. There should be a balance. Privacy concerns. That's exactly what I was looking for. Okay, I think I'm ready to start writing. This is not really talking about how it's already transformed, which is unfortunate. But I just need one quote from here, and it can be a source. Use a lot of these. Okay, sure. All right. Here's my 5 sources. I should be ready to start writing the essay.
Can we go back?
Yeah.
Google took 6 minutes and 44 seconds, while Perplexity took 3 minutes and 16 seconds. So half the time. Perplexity triumphed by allowing for more specific prompts, removing many of the irrelevant sources that Google was giving me, and it summarized the sources. So when I went to each website, I knew exactly what I was looking for and could find the exact quotes faster.
Next, we're going to look at how AI has helped creating and editing. For editing, most AI editing tools just focus on the editing, not the writing. So we have spelling and grammar checkers, and they also are able to paraphrase and reword different ideas or things you've written to help them sound more professional and easier to understand. And there's also apps that check for plagiarism. Generative AI has also been useful on helping students learn to grade their test how the teacher would and help them self-grade to improve those tests or those essays and improve where they have been missing earlier than they would otherwise. AI has the chance to help improve the grueling task of studying and getting all the information by making it easier. It can help generate practice questions on topics and help break down solutions as if the teacher was doing it with you. There has been issues with students just using it to cheat, but it is also a really good tool to help students study and prepare for future exams or tests.
Following up on that, Question AI is a studying tool that students can use. I myself use it. And instead of people taking the explain it part, they just take the answer instead of learning, which makes students fraudulent.
However, there are AI detectors that are being used more and more by teachers to check a student's work. Some examples are zero GPTs, GPT-0, and undetectable AI. But in practice, there are many issues. There are false positives and false negatives. The 3 of them can have wildly different results, which proves how inconsistent they are. And if a student just rewords enough of the AI's work, it can often not get flagged by these programs, which begs the question, if a student rewords everything in an AI's thing, is it the student's work or is it an AI? Students are getting punished for the mistakes these programs are making. For example, Marley Stevens was placed in academic probation. I believe this was at University of Pennsylvania, I might be wrong, but they were put in academic probation for being flagged by one of these websites, and in reality, they were just using the Grammarly checker, which I think we all agree is a pretty non-cheating tool. So it begs the question, if it can't be trusted, can they ever be used? If we are ending up with consequences like academic probation because a website flagged something it shouldn't have, can we rely on them in any way?
Next, we're going into news. We're going to look at the good, which is weather and similar quantitative reports that are more accurate nowadays due to AI. The bad, which are deep fakes, AI automatic articles, sites hosting these AI automated articles, and the ugly, which is machine learning to analyze what users like and build manipulative content feeds, and articles now being generated just to say what the user wants to read.
GraphCast and weather. GraphCast is a highly accurate 10-day weather prediction. It can predict weathers up faster than traditional means. We can also trust GraphCast because it predicted Nadia Skova in 7 days, and the traditional predicted it in 12, which helps in preparedness. How does GraphCast initially work? It uses graphic neural networks, which is a human reader that is used. It uses satellites to help read weather forecasts way faster than traditional means like the balloons, etc.
Next, we're going to look into personalized content. Systems use methods like collaborative filtering, and content-based filtering. Content-based will focus on the content specifically, and collaborative will focus on the users and create data sets from there. Hybrid, which is a mix of the previous two. Contextual recommendation systems, which are focused on time, location, and device usually. Knowledge-based recommendation systems, which usually are focused on like what the user has used in the past, and reinforced learning recommendation systems, which are reinforced from the user's usage of whatever algorithm. The processes include data collection, where it collects the data pre-processing, algorithm selection, where it chooses one of these algorithms, or sometimes multiple. Well, then we go to filtering to filter the content to the user, and then reinforcement, which helps it reinforce what the AI is doing so it can push more of similar content.
Fake content and content farms. Deepfakes are video manipulated by AI technology that was first taken as lighthearted jokes, but are now becoming a serious problem. In 2018, a video of Barack Obama was posted discussing the dangers of technology, and this whole entire video was fake. Now imagine this, 6 years now, technology has completely changed and it's become more advanced. There's also many videos like this on websites. It has gone up over 1,000%, and now it's becoming a serious security threat.
Speaking of which, this type of technology is being used for personalized content farms, which are already spreading misinformation and scam bot messages. AI can analyze an individual's data to engineer highly personalized scam messages that bait them into believing it. So these come in the form of fake political ads, fake celebrity videos, or just personalized clickbait. These types of scams can mislead people into clicking shady links, believing in fake news, or simply giving money to scammers. In summary, AI has become synonymous with cheating and lying, both among students and researchers, but it can still be used to ethically benefit both of those groups. AI detectors are a plausible solution, but in practice have glaring flaws. However, AI can improve areas of news, including making weather reports faster and more accurate. But unfortunately, AI is the ultimate content farm and fake news spreader. Deepfakes are being used to enhance both of these issues, which turn AI into a serious security threat. By integrating AI into academia, we can enhance learning and research while upholding academic integrity. However, we must stay aware of the dangers that this technology poses and equip ourselves and others with the digital literacy required to navigate this changing landscape. Any questions?
So we did have one question from online, and it is, what does academic probation mean?
Academic probation is generally if you are, I believe in colleges, if you're not holding yourself up to the standard that the college is expecting, or maybe your like scholarships are expecting, you're kind of pulled out if you don't get your act together. So in this case, that person failed the class, which brought their GPA down enough that they were put on academic probation, all because they used grammar.
I'll ask a question. It's a very wide-ranging topic that you brought up, and there are a couple of examples of where there was actual business or money to be made, such as scams, and I think you mentioned advertising in one of your videos, comparison to Google. Where is the business? How do you make money using AI?
Should I answer? So, in this context, right, we have, so content farms are a big thing, which are basically just AI generated content. And this is coming from videos, right? And it will make the videos people want to see based on their data automatically, right? There are also news sites, right, that will just get people scrolling and clicking articles and reading and getting ad revenue as it goes. And now we have technology that is able to scan what a person engages with most and then proceeds to generate its own articles, talking about exactly what they want to see, which gets them to spend more time on the website, which gets them watching more ads. And then of course there's scams. If an AI can look through everything you engage in and enjoy, it can be like, okay, this celebrity, right, just released new merch, right, have a deep fake of them talking about it or something like that to get people to click on their link and buy a fake product, right? Or just click a shady link in general, which then downloads malware or pulls a bunch of data, all of which can be used to make money. So in terms of the malicious side of AI, there's a lot of ways to make money, both in terms of generating content or just the scams.
I actually have something to add to that. I'm sure most of us have probably seen those fake movie like trailers, like for this is the second for the movie. Both of those are generated by AI. I've seen like channels that have multiple who generated AI movie things for the same movie too, trailers for the same thing, but with a lot of views because they're preying off of what movies people really love or really want to see a part 2 of. So something like that.
So with integrated AI like PELabs, Gemini, if we have our banking information on our devices and Copilot and Gemini are always running, what is to stop different AI from to take our information from the Copilot?
In that
Is there any?
In that case, I mean, it's like Microsoft, right? You could argue that it's already on your device, right? And Microsoft puts everything on the cloud through like OneDrive and a bunch of different services, right? So it's already there. It's just you have to put trust in those companies that their databases won't leak out to other sites. I know Microsoft is generally pretty secure, so Copilot is probably okay. I'm not so sure about Gemini because Google has had several data leaks. So as Logan was saying, make sure an AI can't get close enough to any of that sensitive data.
What stops AI from getting into all these things? Like if it's what is stopping it from figuring out how to get into it? It's such advanced information. Like, why can't it just look within itself to keep digging to get into the?
Well, a lot of that will be discussed in the next portion about cybersecurity, so I don't want to take away from that.
I was curious when AI versus Google, the search, were the resources the same?
There were two sources that were the same, but I was able to find faster because those were very good sources that fit the topic, but they were buried beneath a bunch of like sponsored search results and ads and stuff. And so it took 2 extra minutes for me to find those sources versus Perplexity giving it to me immediately.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
You probably know this already, but I'm Logan.
I'm Jose Rodriguez.
And this is artificial intelligence and cybersecurity.
Is our table of contents just a broad overview of what we're going to be talking about? What is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the art of protecting networks, devices, and data from unauthorized access or criminal use, and the practice of ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. What is a computer virus? A computer virus is a malicious software that can harm, harvest, erase, eavesdrop, capture, or destroy any important information you have on your device. Where can you get one? Almost anywhere. You can get it from a phone call, a message, downloading something off the internet, and maybe spam email link, just anywhere. Why was it invented? The first computer virus was named Brain, and it never had the intention of being malicious or stealing data. It was invented by 2 brothers in Pakistan to stop illegal copying of their medical software. Here's a video talking a little bit more about that.
First question, who wrote Brain? Mr. Bassett and me, we together, we finally concluded the final version of the virus. But the idea was floated way back in '84 with the help of a few other friends and my customers even.
Now, many sources, including Wikipedia, list that Brain was found in January 1986. But what is the real date? When exactly did you write it?
The most spread out version was finalized in somewhere September 1986.
Another question, why did you write Brain?
We were experimenting few things. One thing that in DOS we can have something multitasking kind of thing, and the second thing to explore the security holes of the operating system in the comparison or in the contrast of Unix or Linux, the de facto operating system of the that time, and the DOS was something new. And when we explored the security issues of the DOS and realized that it is quite vulnerable to the piece of codes, kind of piece of code we wrote back then. So that was the motivation. At the same time, to find out how the floppies and how the programs and how the software move around. It can be, we can monitor that by putting a code, and we can see and watch whether it is going to spread out all over the world or if it can remain within a certain.
First question.
LLMs. LLMs stand for large language models, and they are artificially intelligent systems designed to understand and generate human text. They generate human text to be able to make you understand at the easiest possible way. LLMs learn by reading text from books and the internet, figuring out patterns in language, adjusting themselves to better understand and generate human text. Some examples of LLMs are ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot.
ChatGPT. What does it do? ChatGPT engages in conversation, answers questions, provides information, and assists with various tasks using artificial intelligence. The reason it was made,
ChatGPT was created to advance AI technology and assist users with language-based tasks. And how does it help? ChatGPT helps by answering questions, providing information, assisting with learning and creativity, automating tasks, and offering entertainment and advice.
So for this, we ran an experiment where we used a virtual machine named Proxmox, where what we did was we took two viruses, put them onto a Windows 7 virtual machine inside of Proxmox, and we asked ChatGPT how to remove these viruses, and ChatGPT gave us responses. So this first one here is this is the response of ChatGPT explaining us how to install the first virus we tested, which with BonziBuddy. And through this, you can see us following the steps. Now, after this, ChatGPT doesn't mention this, but in order to fully remove the files, we did have to do a full reboot. ChatGPT did not mention this, but we generally would call this part a success, mainly because we were still able to remove the virus, and restarting your computer is a general healthy thing you should be doing anyway. The next one is a virus we use called TeslaCrypt, where essentially for this one, you'll see this on, but they didn't fully explain how to remove TeslaCrypt properly, and this actually failed. The virus was not successfully able to be removed from the machine. This right here is a program called ESET. This uses the, I'll talk about this a little more, but after a few years after the virus came out, the developers, who are still unknown to this day, released the decryptor. ESET is a cybersecurity company who provides access to the decryptor. We also it tells us to install the decryptor. We already had the decryptor pre-installed. So if you go read through the steps, we did technically not install it. Then we had already pre-installed it to save some time. And that did not make a difference.
So this experiment failed to remove the virus?
Yes, as you can see right here, this is where it does fail. It has this open PowerShell, and it wants us to type in these commands. However, as you will see me attempt to type these commands don't exist in PowerShell. So I'm not quite sure what the issue is here. I may have gotten mixed up on the operating systems. Maybe it thought we were using Linux or Windows 7. I don't personally know how PowerShell works too well, but when I look at this command to me, this is exactly what I would put into Linux. So there's a chance that ChatGPT just made a mistake. So BonziBuddy is actually a great example to be talking about this, because BonziBuddy, to some extent, is actually one of the first more well-known quote-unquote artificial intelligences, because it is a virtual assistant that would work very similar to Amazon Alexa, Siri, Cortana, any other virtual assistants. So basically, BonziBuddy was essentially this gorilla who, well, that was the avatar. And you could do things like play games, etc. And that's what it was advertised to be. However, Bonzi Buddy was not all that it was promised to be, and it ended up harvesting a lot of user data and other very important files that you would not want out there, and then shipping them off to, I actually don't know. I don't think a lot of people know where they went. So after this was discovered, Bonzi Buddy was shortly removed. Well, the website was. Now it's been put back up by other people on the internet.
These are the instructions for the Bonzi Buddy. These are the instructions that ChatGPT gave us for Bonzi Buddy. So it shows the difference between a Mac removing it and Windows 10, 8, and 7. And this shows that ChatGPT understands that different processing systems take different steps to removing the virus.
So this is the other virus we use. This is called TeslaCrypt. TeslaCrypt is a ransomware that, when installed, will infect all files on the computer. And I know I brought this up, so I assume this is going to be a question. Is unmade is why it failed. Because we had ESET pre-installed, ESET does have a protection. So if you already have it pre-installed and then you install TeslaCrypt again, it will essentially preserve itself from being infected. I figured just in case that's a question that gets brought up. ESET is protected and was not encrypted. That is not why this failed. The commands do not work. But yeah, essentially this was spread via in-game video game messaging, such as games like RuneScape, emails, your typical, it was spread like a typical scam would be. And the virus claimed that the only way to get rid of it was to pay a crypto wallet in the cryptocurrency Bitcoin, which at the time in 2015 was still a relatively expensive currency.
This is just the actual decryptor and the instructions that ChatGPT gave us, which shows that ChatGPT can give you the information, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will be correct. And as you saw in the video, it did fail.
Do we have any questions? Yes.
So you used it to try to remove viruses. Are there AI tools that you could use to write a virus instead? And how difficult would that be?
I am so glad you asked that question. Oh, you can do it all right. I know it exists for reasons. Whether I got AI to do it is up to interpretation. I can nor confirm nor deny this, but you can absolutely get it. There may even be the potential to get ChatGPT to write you malicious software. Potentially. I cannot legally claim that I know this, but I'll let you go find that out.
So would you say it's easier to create or remove using ChatGPT?
Probably create. Honestly, yeah. The one thing that may be that is ChatGPT only really knows, or any other AI, they mostly only know what's already been made. So ChatGPT maybe, just off the top of my head, it could make a combination of TeslaCrypt and Bonzi Buddy. I don't know exactly how that would work, but it could maybe make a combination of those two, but it couldn't think of its own ransomware. And anything it would do, as mentioned previously, would have to be essentially stolen or inspired by previously existing viruses.
Your topic on the blend of cybersecurity and AI, and you talked about how AI would be a useful tool to help you with cybersecurity. But I wonder how vulnerable is AI to theft of cybersecurity. So, what protects AI from being stolen?
Either of you guys want to do this? Because I can go on forever. So, essentially, I'd say AI at the moment is not very protected. And the main reason I say it is a lot of AI is open source right now. So anyone can mostly make an AI. If I'm correct, I believe parts of ChatGPT's code are open source. Might be wrong about that. But so yeah, I'd say AI is not protected at all, considering mostly anyone can go and make their own AI. Does that answer your question, or do you?
But then that makes it sound like the real secret sauce is just the data that you trained on. So
Yeah.
the actual programming code is out there, but you gotta have vast amounts of data.
Yeah.
And I know we can measure in petabytes. So, it's not really stealable because it exceeds storage media. So it's just too big to take, but that will change.
I mean, it could also depend on which AI you're trying to go off. For example, a company like Google may have better security surrounding their AI, considering Google's cybersecurity is very well done, compared to ChatGPT is a bad example because they're owned by Microsoft. But a smaller AI company, maybe if we made an AI, it would certainly, the security on it would not be comparable to something Google made.
Then another form of cybersecurity is to prevent tampering with the AI source code or engine. What would be a reason that someone might want to try to manipulate or inject code into an AI's results?
So first thing that comes to my head is providing false information or to provide some sort of hack. I mean, we see this all the time in websites where websites will get hacked by maybe a group of people to promote a political idea. Maybe they just want to save their favorite video game. That's happened quite a few times. But I'd say that would probably be the biggest reason is, or they maybe just want to cause some chaos and disrupt Google and say, well, we're going to replace every YouTube video with Rick Astley. So we're going to mess with Google's AI. So you don't get to see the new PELabs live stream, which is very good. You are forced to see Rick Astley. Yeah. Any other questions?
So I just wanted to thank everyone for coming. We have, 8 very bright interns that have been doing a lot of hard work, not only to create the research projects you looked at, but there's been a lot of other learning experiences and different things we've created over the time that we've been working together. So I know, some of the fun things. There's going to be a gallery on the monitor of little bits of art that were created. We trained an AI on how to create mugs, images of mugs. We've created an AI that replicates the speech patterns of Mickey Mouse. There's been a lot of different fun things that we've been experimenting with during the time we've been here. And the next step, really, for what we're going to be working on is the entrepreneurial section, right? So this internship is AI and entrepreneurship. So the next time we have a presentation, it's going to be almost like a business pitch, right? We're going to come up with, the interns are going to come up with a business idea, break into teams, and see what we can do with that. And we'll pitch the business idea to you next time. And, I've had a large hand, I think, in some of the teaching and the guiding with the first section here, right? The second section with the business idea is going to be a little more hands-off. I'm going to let the interns really run with it, and we'll see what's created and what comes out of it. Be there for guidance, but the second half is really going to be driven by all of you guys. I'm very, very excited to see what comes out of that. So thank you for attending. And for the interns that are here, we've got some food coming for you afterwards, and that should be here in about a quarter after. So we'll clean up, do a few things, and we'll finish up with the interns at about 2.